Hello? Hello, am I audible to everyone? Hello? Hello, is this fine?
Hi everyone, my name is Markhadat and I'm here to share the news of the week. Exciting opportunity for all school-going youngsters. Hello? Hello, is this fine?
Hello, so I think I'm audible to everyone. So if there is anything else, you could tell me now, notified now. Hello? So yes, I think we should just wait for like 5 to 10 minutes, or at least just 2 minutes for the others to join the stream. I'll be talking about Indian polity, that is about your constitutions of India, the basic ideas and understandings of everything related to Indian polity. So it will be a very short session, probably around 1.5 hours, and I'll try to like cover all the portions related to the basic fundamentals of our Indian constitution, just the basic concepts. And yes, so it's 8:35 now. We'll start by 8:37. We'll just wait for 2 more minutes for all the other aspirants to join the session.
An academy.
Oh, hi, Faisal. So I think we should just get on with the class. And do let me know if the audio is not right, because I had few complaints from students saying that my audio was not very good for the last previous streams and all. So I tried to rectify it, and I think it's better right now. And if still you feel that my audio is not very much clear or there's some disturbances in it, do let me know that now, so that I could just correct it right now itself, and I wouldn't have to wait until the class starts, and then that will just totally destroy the whole flow of the class. So yes, I think it's still 8:36, so we'll just wait for 1 more minute. Okay, so the audio is fine. Okay, so I think we should start with the class right now itself. So we're going to study the basic understanding of what Indian polity is, and the most important part of your Indian polity with respect to your UPSC civil service examinations is related to your constitutions. That is your basic constitution, the structures of it, the features of it, the salient features and the eminent facts and figures about it. So that is very much important, both in prelims and mains related, but I think it's more important in the mains. What I say is because polity is the basis of all the subjects, and even for the interview part, if you just take into it, you can find that the questions will be more or less related to your polity, which is your current affairs. So you have to have the basic foundations of it, and for having the basic foundations, constitution of India, understandings of constitution of India is very much important. So here Indian polity, just the basic understanding of what governance or government is actually. It's actually a set of system, or a certain institution or set of people who govern, who understands, who look, they are not just kings or someone to just rule over some people. They are not dictators. That is, even dictatorship is considered to be governance, but a true governance is when they are having being more answerable to the citizens. That is when the citizens have a confidence on these people who are governing them. That is where we can say that this is the right governance. And yes, do not have to be worried for the PPT slides. I'll be uploading all the slides in the Telegram channel. Do follow me in that, and I'll be uploading all the slides that we are gonna take today. So yes, this is the basic definition of what governance is all about. And today we are going to understand the basic structure or the foundations of our constitutions. That is, what is the Indian constitutions? Sure, now we have heard lots of terms like democracy, secular, republic. So what is the understandings or what is the relevance that with respect to our constitution or with the system of our governance? That is, India is a place, for example, if I would take Britain or US or Nepal or Bangladesh, they have their own set of, their religion or caste sect being governing them. For example, in Saudi Arabia, their constitution is their religion, and according to that religion is how they are governing the states and the citizens of those places. So we are going to study all these important components in today's class. So yes, I am sure that you must have seen this page at least in your NCERT books, and like I've said, starting your civil services, you have to start with your NCRTs, and this is because NCRT is considered to be the base of all the syllabuses. So I always recommend you to first complete your NCRTs, then get on to the standard and the reference books. So yes, what is that we find over here? I'm sure that everyone have seen it, even I've seen it, but I wouldn't give a single thought to it that what this page is all about. What is the Constitution of India? That is written over here, preamble. Constitution of India, that's it. And I wouldn't take an initiative to understand the meaning of it or what is being written over here. So I'm going to explain what preamble is. Preamble is actually a theme or is actually a genre. For example, you're going to watch a film. So before watching the film, you're going to find the trailer, the teaser of it. What is that? Teaser and trailer is all about what this movie is going to be at, or it's going to give you a sort of like idea about the movie. That is the theme of the movie, the mood of the movie, the tone of the movie will be, conveyed through these trailer or these teasers. So same way over here, preamble is just actually setting the theme of it. That what is this all about? In a way, we could say that the whole summary or the gist of the constitution is written over here. But one thing is that these are not, for example, it's written over here, uh, liberty and justice. And if I do a crime and I say that, it's written the preamble of liberty and you have no right to, violate my liberty. So one thing is that constitution is different, preamble, yes, it sets the mood, but we cannot use this for gaining a justice. That is, they cannot be filed against a judicial review. So we are going to explain whole understandings of what this preamble is all about. That is, we the people of India. And I'm sure you must have read at least, just seen the classes or somewhere in history you have found that who sets the constitution? These people, the drafting committee. And majority of the people were INC, that is Indian National Congress. And they haven't written over here, we the Congress people. No, it's written in the behalf of whole of the citizens of India. That is Indians. We as Indians are writing this preamble or writing this constitution for ourselves. And these people, they are just considering themselves as to be representatives of us. And they're not writing, okay, me Ambedkar, I am the chairman of drafting committee. I am writing this constitution for the state of India. No, that is not how it is. They are saying that we are representatives of the whole class of Indians and we are here writing on the behalf. So this is the reason I'm sure you have heard the phrase, we the people, that is by the people, for the people and of the people. It's always about the people. So we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic and to secure all of its citizens these provisions. So under here are the provisions that are going to be ensured to all the citizens, and this is what the governance or the government, whoever is going to govern, they are striving it for it. And we cannot say that yes, I deserve justice or I deserve liberty. We cannot say that because, for example, there are certain cases in the High Court or in the Supreme Court, they are being, held under the review for like 10, 20 years. And we cannot say that, okay, you ensure me justice, but it's been 20, 22 years and where is my justice? So you cannot say that. So we're going to understand the meaning of each important term of it. The reason is that these all seems to be similar to everyone, but these are not similar. They are distinguished, and I'm going to explain each word. Sovereign. So the first word we wanted for ourselves was sovereign. Why? Until 1947, we were the colonies, or we were under the imperial power of British rule. That is an external force who is governing us. So sovereign means we are not under any sorts of external powers or influence, in a way that we are actually making all these Britishers understand. See, we are a sovereign nation. Now you have no rights over us. The reason I say is that Australia was also a colony part of British, but still they consider Queen as their queen. But over here, we just say that we are part of the Commonwealth nation, but you are not our queen. So that is the reason why we have sovereign, saying that we are as a nation, we are independent, and we do not require an external pressure or an external influence or any sorts of governance over here. And socialist, we cannot claim we are a socialist right now because we are in a way moving towards the capitalist. So socialist is wherein all the citizens are given the equal rights, equal opportunities, and equal chances at the future. For example, if you ask your parents and all, or if you're like before 1990s and all, you must have heard of the word called quota or ration. That is, you only have so much of quota for it. For example, if I need to buy a car. So how do I do that? I have to book for it, and I only have a quota, or the government have given me a quota of this much, and I can only have till this much. So this is an example. Similar to the ration shops that we can find over here, the PDS and all, you have a ration of getting just 10 kg of rice, and it doesn't matter. Even if you have lots of money, this is not going to ensure more than that. That is, this is your ration. So that's how it was before. But after that, we were almost in bankruptcy. So for those reasons, in 1991 to 1992, we opened our economy, and the privatization, liberalizations came into being, the globalizations. So I'm sure you must have heard of it at least. We'll discuss all that in economics and economy chapters on the sessions. So socialist is something the government is striving for it. That is, yes, we have lots of disparity over here. That is, we have all these super rich people like Ambanis and Adanis, and also very poor people who don't even have a pair of clothes to wear. So that is the disparity that we have. But still, the government or whoever is governing us, they are striving for the socialist. That is, for example, these people, they don't have money for themselves. So what do the government do? They give out all these subsidies, or they give all these allowances, provisions, and all. And these rich people, that is, these people who are above the certain criteria, that is, above the criterion of income tax, what is the government going to do? They're going to collect tax from all these people. So in a way, they're trying to balance, but I cannot say we are balanced in a way. Our economy is not balanced, but we are striving for it, and I'm sure that we will reach in future that being a more of socialist, at least related to socialist economy. And secular. So secular means we all know that is India is a nation which doesn't have any religion. Secular doesn't mean I'm accepting all the religion, but secular means no religion. I am not advocating for any religion. I am not against any religion. Just make sure that your religion wouldn't hurt somebody else. For example, there are people like all these negative energies, and also in a way this shouldn't hurt someone else, like physically and all. So I cannot say emotionally you can't hurt me. For example, if I find my neighbor preaching or practicing a different religion than mine, I cannot say that he is hurting my emotions. No, that's not. Physically, that cannot harm you. Whatever you do, your understandings, your belief, keep that yourself. So secular as a nation, we do not have any religion, and we don't favor any religion, and we don't give special powers or provisions to others. Yes, but also we also have scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and OBC. Why do we have that? Because we are a socialist nation. That is, equality is not about, for example, a mother have three children. Okay, and equality is not about giving the three children equal amount of food, because that will be totally unfair to the elder one whose appetite will be much bigger than the others. Equality is about, making the other children to be in the equal platform. Only until they get the equal platform, we can give them equal opportunities. They are highly backward. So they need to be brought in front, to these people who are well off, and only from here, only their equal platform, we can give them opportunities. So that is the reason why they are getting, or they're receiving special provisions and all. That is all these scheduled castes and scheduled tribes and OBCs. OBCs are the backward caste. So yes, so that is secular and democratic. Democratic is what? That is who is in the power. That is before Modi, it was Manmohan Singh, and before that, there was many other people. Manmohan Singh was in for 2 terms, and Modi is also in for the two terms. That is, they're not there because of their own power. Why are they there? Because we voted for them, we represented them, and we wanted them. And since we wanted them, they are there governing us. And if you don't want them, they're not going to be there. How are we going to not make sure that they're not going to be staying there? We are going to give vote to someone else. So it's democratic. It's always for the people. It's a redressal mechanism. For example, I as a citizen, if I have an issue or a problem, what is that? I'm going to go approach, first my local court, that is all me, the district level court, and after that my high court, and after that only the Supreme Court. But that's a different issue. We're gonna, go first see the police station or your whatever is there in your purview. You're not gonna like automatically go to the district court and all. So it's actually an answerable government. So this is what democratic, and republic is what. Who is the first citizens of India? It is our president, that is Kovind. So here it's written that citizenship, that is, for example, certain people are there. We have this NRC and CA. What is NRC and CA? It's all about giving citizenship, Citizen Amendment Act, and also about giving citizenship to each person. That is, you belong to this nation and you are here as a nation. So republic in a way sort of like giving that we are here as a nation. And one of the other reason why that we are here, republic is a word given over here, is because Indians are people who have the power to do what is want to be done to them. For example, I am a citizen, and suppose I do not like whatever is happening over here. Okay, so it's buffering. So is the audio fine or the video is being stuck? Okay, so the message was retracted. Okay, so republic is in a way that the president is directly or indirectly being elected by people that we represent, and it's not just him. Yeah, it's not just him. It's not just him. That is, for example, we are not suppose places like America and all. They are directly electing these people. That is, Obama was there, Trump and all were there. But over here, what is different over here? We are electing him indirectly or directly, and he is said to be the not the executive head, but at least the nominal head. So this is why we are saying that we are republic. And the other example, like the American example I could give, is the British or the England. But their head is not selected by, they cannot do anything about it. That is, there is actually a rumor that they don't like the Prince Charles wife, that is Camilla. So we cannot say that, okay, we don't like her, we wanted Madam Diana, and just because we don't like Camilla, after her death, that is, after the queen dies, Charles will automatically be the queen. And the people cannot say that, okay, we are going to give you no vote. And we cannot say that. What is the reason why? Because it's something they cannot decide on it. So this is the reason why our first citizen is our president. But their reason is that they cannot do anything about it. They have to accept his attitude. And suppose there could even be a chance that, the royal people or the royal family, they could decide, that is after the queen's death, the William or the, you can continue. Okay, thank you so much, Siddhi Varshni. Okay, so for example, I say that in the royal family, suppose they don't want. For example, the queen itself decides that, okay, I don't want to hand over it to Charles. I want to give it to my grandson. She can do that, and it is not up to the rights of these people. It is a democratic, and it is a monarchical democratic, but still, then the people cannot do anything about it. And if they have Camilla and Charles as the king and queen, there is nothing that they could do about it. They have to, bear the brunt of it. So this is just an example. And just so this is the basic understandings of here in India. and all these socialist and secular were added on later on. It wasn't there at first. So this, the first paragraph over here is the whole idea, or at least the whole theme. It sets the ground for the constitutions. That is, what is the constitution is all about. It's going to be said in few lines. For example, if you see a movie and a friend asks you what is the movie is all about, so a friend is going to give you just a one line, okay, this is a boy and a girl meets, but her father's against it. So that's how the thread of the story is being said over here in this first paragraph. And this, as a nation with so much, so and so features of this nation are going to ensure certain features for the citizens. And what is that? Justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. That is, justice is in all the forms, and social, economical, political, and every aspects of it. Just because I am born, for example, like here in India, we had this caste hierarchical system over here, and I could say that even in the like remote areas of Rajasthan, Gujarat, we can still find these caste related problems, that is the untouchabilities, and these people of certain categories and certain caste categories, they are not supposed to drink water or draw water from the community well and all, so etc etc. So here in India, we are gonna give justice in all the matters. Doesn't matter if you're born Brahmin or Shudra or whatever you are gonna be treated everyone. So in a way, this is almost overlapping to the equality factor. But first we have to ensure justice, and only after then we'll have equality. So in justice in all the aspects, social, economical, and political, and liberty is actually liberty in thought, belief systems, and all. For example, I want to be a Christian, so it's my wish. Or tomorrow I decide, okay, I want to be a Muslim. Okay, fine, I can do that. If I do all the legal procedures, I can be a Muslim. And later on, okay, I want to be a Hindu. Okay, I can even do that. I can do all the procedures, that is conversions and procedures. I could be a Hindu, and it's totally upon your wish. And all of a sudden, I decide, okay, I want to be an atheist. And this is just regarding the belief. Okay, that is, we have rights for everything. And we have recently seen that is all these journalists and newspaper print and all, they are violating, in a way I could say that, because I feel personally of clause 19 bar a or 1, that is, we have the expression, freedom of expressions. I have right to speak about anything, but it shouldn't be slander or defamations. So in those rights, these journalists and these print media people, they're totally taking advantage of it. So India is very much different from, for example, Saudi Arabia. If you carry a different religious book and then walk through the streets, you're going to be jailed, and everything is related, that is being enforced to others. But over here in India, we have total liberty. You want to do that, do that. You want to do this, okay, fine, it's totally upon your wish. It provided that it wouldn't harm somebody else. So that is liberty. Equality is mainly about status and opportunity. Reason why is that India was highly corrupted with all these religious practices and the hierarchical system that India provided. And this was totally news to us when the Britishers came and conquered us. And yes, it was a bad impact that we had over here from the British rule, but we certainly learned so much from them. That is, they do not distinguish anyone on the basis of caste and creed, but they also have their own ways of hierarchical systems. Okay, so that's a different aspect altogether. But so here we can find is that, like before, earlier, the rule was that for the eyewitnesses, a man's witness was just one man was enough, and one man was equal to two women. Okay, so suppose a woman see something and she want to be an eyewitness to something, she cannot say that. She will just be a half witness. She needs two people. That is, a two woman comprises one man's witness. So total disparity, and that is, women are not supposed to do that. They are not supposed to do that. I'm not just talking about the caste, creed, religion, or gender. On the basis of all the aspects, even the third gender, everyone is being included over here. India is an inclusive nation. So that is equality. And fraternity is all about, it's not just about unity, love, and brotherhood. It's more importantly about inclusions of over here. And inclusions in the aspects of mind or in emotions. We have to, inculcate a habit of being including everyone, and being very much narrow-minded and rigid, saying that, okay, he's against my belief systems or my way of thinking, so I'm just against him. No, that's not the way. So fraternity over here, what I have understood is all about accepting everyone as they are and trying to be more peaceful and harmony and living with everyone. So this as a constitution, it was released to us in January 26, 1950, but it was already ready. That is, they started writing the constitution, but it got ready just 3 or 4 months before. That was in November, written over here on the 6th of November 1949. So they started, adopting certain provisions like citizenships and all, but it was out or given released into full form was started from January 26th, 1950. That is on your Republic Day, and we are still celebrating our Republic Day. The reason why they waited 2 or 3 months, number, okay, 2 months, was just because when the strugglers, these nationals were struggling for the freedom, they decided that, okay, they had certain sense of patriotism. They said, okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to celebrate our independence. It's okay, we might be under the British rule, but still we are going to celebrate. So they decided that January 26th will be the day of their independence. And also they started giving out their stand, or they understand that what is that they want. They wanted Purna Swaraj, or complete independence. Until then, freedom strugglers, they only asked for dominion status. Dominion status is, for example, what we have right now. That is, for example, Kerala or Tamil Nadu as a state is under the center. Okay, in a way of federal system. So it's not federal system. I'm just giving you just an example comparison to understand. So till then, people only ask for dominion status, and the government also ensured us dominion. Okay, dominion that you want. Okay, then we'll think about it. So in a way, they said. But on 1930, Nehru said, okay, that's it. Enough is enough. We want complete independence. We don't want you over here governing us or giving us lectures on what we have to do about it. You just get out from our nation. We'll do as we please. So 1930 onwards, every year they started celebrating Independence Day on 26th of on January. So to commemorate that special day that they had emotionally, they had certain connections towards that day. So that reason why they waited just for 2 more months, so that they could say, okay, we are actually in a way celebrating our independence. So that's why we are still celebrating that day on January 26th, and hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves the constitutions. Like I said, this is not a constitution written by a single party or a single constitution or just a single institution of people. This is written by we as a nation. Whoever wrote all these, constitutions and policy frameworks, they are in a way representing us here in India. So it's written over here that we as a people are enacting and adopting and establishing this upon us. So this is just a basic understanding, and do not be scared by seeing so much. And that is, this is what our constitution is all about, and we have these 22 parts, and articles are here, and these are the main areas. So I'm not asking you to by heart everything in the order as such, but certain parts and articles and constitutions you have to understand, because with the prelims point of view, they're going to ask certain questions, and it will be easier for you to have just basic understandings. And if you could find certain pictures from the internet and just get a printout and stick it on the wall, I'm sure that within just 1 or 2 weeks you'll be having a total understanding of all the articles and areas and all. So I'm going to explain everything, that is just the category wise. I'm not going to go full on to it and then explain one by one, because that's going to confuse you all. My way of learning is that, for example, I just read something, okay? I just read it plainly, and only after that, on the second read, I'll read it again and I'll read on to the details of it. For example, in 1857, the first sepoy mutiny, I'll just, first time if I read, okay, what was the reason? Okay, these sepoys, they had problems with the cartilage and all. Okay, so that's a problem. Second time I read, no, that's not the only problem. There were certain problems also associated with it. So each time I read, I add on points, because this will, help me to keep the memory up in my mind. First time if you read it, you'll find lots of information. It's going to crowd up your head, and it's going to scare you off also. So this is just my way of learning. And if you think this is better for you, you could follow that. And I cannot recommend that also, because the exam is actually 1.5 years long, and we are preparing for prelims, mains, and also for your interview. So it has to stay on for a long time. Okay, it's going to be at 8:30 also. Night 8:30. Classes at 8:30. So yes. So this is my way of learning. So I'm just giving you just the basic understanding what comes under it and all. Oh, I'm so sorry. So the first part. first part is actually a first category or first section. Okay, there are totally 22 sections of different categories. All right, we are not gonna mingle all these laws together and make it more confusing. These people, the drafting committee, what they did was that all the rules on regulations related to one single category was jotted down and put in one category. So that's how parts came into being. So first part related to all the laws or all the rules related to union and territories, and it have four articles or four laws. Okay, and four laws in the sense that the first one will be we have a union and we have a territory, and this so and so is a territory. Second one will be that okay, we are demarcating the states on the basis of linguistic lines. That is Kerala language Kerala, Malayalam, Tamil Nadu Tamil, Andhra Pradesh Telugu, and Orissa on the basis of all these languages. So all the states are divided on the basis of language. So this is just an example. So laws regarding union and territories have 1 to 4. That is 4 laws. Okay, and the second part or second category is citizenship. That is all these people, and since we as a nation we started off with the partition, that is a certain portion was taken over by the Pakistan, certain portion by India. So we have to keep that clear. Yes, tomorrow I think I'll just continue a few more classes on polity, and then we'll get on with the next subject on the next class. Sundara. Okay, so tomorrow also polity. Uh, yes, so that was citizenship, and so certain confusions were there. So we have 5 acts or 5 laws related to citizenship, and then comes the fundamental rights. That is all the rights these people deserve to have. That is right to equality, right to education. Everything it has to be properly mentioned. So we have certain lots and lots of fundamental rights under it from 12 to 35, and DPSPs, Directive Principles of State Policy. So all these are categories, and one way of just understanding is that study in a way like a story. Okay, first part is union and territory. So they have to be a physical territory. Okay, this is the physical territory. We marked it. And next, what do you want? We need citizens over here to live here in India. So yes, so we want citizens and also some rules or laws regarding the citizenship. And what is that? These citizens, they deserve to have certain rights. They deserve to have certain, provisions for themselves. So we're going to make certain rights for them. Okay, so that is cleared. And DPSPs, that is Directive Principles of State Policy. That is, yes, these people are getting lots of provisions or certain rights from the government, but also government also want to have certain, responsibility towards them. That is, we are saying that, for example, a father telling to the child is that okay, you're right, you have equal right, you're going to get certain provisions, but I also expect you to have taking up lots of responsibilities. So that is DPSPs. Sort of like set of rules, or it's not rules actually, they're not enforceable, but fundamental rights, it is enforceable. Someone violates the fundamental rights, we could take them to court. But DPSPs, we cannot say that okay, someone violates DPSPs and we could take them to court. It is something that the government expect the citizen to follow. It's something out of expectations. And after that comes the fundamental duties. Also, these are also the duties. And next is the yes, we are a federal, and also we have a unitary basis bias. That is federal. What is what? There will be a central government. Under central government, there will be certain sort of states and all these special categories. But these categories will be governed totally by the union. That is, it is unitary but federal. Federal system means a single power will be there, but it will be given out to the other states as well. So yes, next is to make a strong center. That is the union. Union means center. The next step is to make the strong union, and after that to make the states. That is the categories under it to be also strong. That is each state will also have their own rules and everything regarding that. And the next is what about yes, seventh one was repealed. Okay, it was there when the constitution was made, but seventh one is being deleted. And eighth one is about the union territories. So why union territories? For example, Mahi, Puducherry and all. So why these places are considered to be union territories? Because they are very small and they cannot be, considered to be a state as such. Goa was first a union territory, and it was only later on it was considered to be a separate state. So since they are very small, and since the culture and the linguistics are totally different from the place, for example, this Puducherry, if you take into example, we can find lots of French settlements over there, and we cannot expect Tamil Nadu to take up this place and look after it because it's totally culturally, economically, totally different. So this is the reason why Center said, okay, there'll be all these certain small union territories. I will directly look after them. So that's how union territories and all the rights and regulations related to the union territories comes over here in eighth one. And then the next, what is that? Panchayats, municipalities. That is, yes, we talked about all these states and all. That is, in the sixth part, we talked about, in the sixth part, we have 152 to 237 laws or articles related to state government. So over here, it's that, okay, these state have, but these state also have their own subdivisions. One chief minister cannot look after everyone. Yes, why there is union territories? Uh, Anup, I think I answered that. Since these union territories are very small, they cannot be considered to be a single state. That is, for example, Puducherry and Mahi, they're very small. The area territory is very small, and we cannot say that, okay, we are going to consider you to be a single state. It's very small, but it's culturally and economically and all the language wise also very different. So this is the reason why. Yes, Jammu and Kashmir is very much different. We cannot compare that. The reason Jammu and Kashmir was first a state, but we all know the LET, that is Lakshari-e Taiba. That's actually a militant force, terrorist people, Lakshari-e Taiba. So to break them, and why the Bengal? That is in the 1905 October 16th. Why did the British India? Why these British government divided Bengal into West Bengal and East Bengal to make them more weak? That is, Bengal as a place was being very much stronger. These citizens over those places in Bengal, they were being very much intelligent, and they started protesting against the government. They had a fear that they will come against the government. So for those reasons, to make them very weak, the state was divided into two. So a similar, yeah, good evening. So the similar reason is being taken over here. That is Jammu and Kashmir, already there were lots of problems. We have terrorists inside, outside, everywhere. So this place was very much difficult to maintain and manage, and it cannot be considered to be a state. And we cannot say that, okay, you are old enough to look after yourself, and we cannot say that because of all these militant forces are being taken out. So for those reasons, government said, okay, I will look after you from here on. So I'm going to make your union territory. We're going to divide you into two. So that's the reason why, in spite of Jammu and Kashmir, now it's Srinagar is also different. In spite of being very large in the reasons of areas, it's being considered to be a union territory. So that is a different reason. And yes. So next one is panchayats and municipalities. So like I said, state, that is on the sixth one. Sixth part was state government. So all these state also have to be governed by certain subcategories. For example, there will be a school principal, but principal cannot look after everyone. She is in charge of everyone, but doesn't mean that she can look after the needs and provisions of every categories and batch and classes. So they're going to be vice principal or probably in charge or HOD, and each class will have their own class teachers and class monitors. So why is that? To make it more easier, to make it more systematic and lenient. For those reasons why we have panchayats and municipalities, and even under that we have blocks and all. So yes, so till here, I think we can study it in a way like a story format. And the next comes the SCST, Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes area. That is, there are certain people who are, in a violated position that they can be again exploited by the other people. For example, if you would look into Jharkhand, Jharkhand is highly rich in all these tribal people, and they have lots of sects of tribal people. And these people probably, I'm not saying everyone, probably some people, they still wouldn't be aware of their rights or their special provisions that they deserve. They wouldn't have an idea about it. And what happens when someone else, very educated, and he knows that this tribal person doesn't have much knowledge about it. So there are chances that these people would exploit them. So to make sure that this doesn't exist over here, special provisions and special acts and lots of specialities and reservations and provisions. No, no, this is not the syllabus of polity. This is not the syllabus of polity, okay? This is just a constitution. I'm just giving you a brief gist of it. This is not the syllabus. Our syllabus is very vast of polity that if you're talking about with regarding to your GS. Your polity consists of constitution, your governance, and your, the all the functions of it. So this is just a small part. Constitution is very much important part of your important syllabus of your polity, and this is just a constitution. So in a page I'm trying to explain this is a constitution is actually a very huge book, so I'm just explaining the contents in the constitution. Example, this is the first book, and you're going to have the front page giving all the content what this book includes. So this is just that. I'm just trying to explain what this includes, okay? Please do not think this to be the syllabus, because this is not. Okay. So yeah. So yeah, that is the reason why the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe people and the area. For example, these scheduled tribes people, they wouldn't have a legal document saying that this is my place. They wouldn't have it. So even their places and areas has to be conserved, protected and preserved by the government, and the government has to ensure that they also receive the equal rights and everything. Only then, like I said earlier, they also come up to the equal platform of us, and we could give them equal opportunities. So first we have to bring them to the equal platform. That is a level playing field. Yes. So the next is relation between the union and the state. This is not just about the union and state, also state with other states and all that disputes and everything related. For example, Mullaperiyar is actually a huge dispute between Tamil Nadu and Kerala government, and this is just a water example related to dam and all. But there are lots of dispute going on, and there are certain other things also. So union and the power over the state and the relation of states, all these smaller states with the union is explained over here. And the next one is in UPSC or Tamil Nadu PSC. I'm not sure what the Tamil Nadu PSC syllabus is all about. But, this is about the UPSC syllabus, but I think most of the PSCs, like here in Kerala also, most of the PSCs also have the basic understandings of all these concepts. So I don't know. I don't know about the Tamil Nadu PSC syllabus, but this is for the UPSC. So yes. So the next one, 12th part. Okay, 12th category is about the finance, property, contract, and suits. So everything related to the technical aspects is written over here. And the next one is trade, commerce, intercourse with territory of India, within the territory of India. And that is, for example, here in India we have trade. For example, here in India, we have, for example, Kerala. Kerala have trade with other nations. We have trade ties and we have commerce and systems over here. So there are certain power or certain set of, apart from the certain organizations set up by their own communities, there has to be someone monitoring everything and everyone, all the finance systems and everything. Okay, so there has to be a certain institutions for that. So this is the reason why it is being included over here. And intercourse shouldn't be just the negative ones also, but also the positive aspects also we are talking about, like for example trade and commerce. It shouldn't be always about dispute and fight and debates with other state, but we can also have good trade ties and good commerce and good connections with the other places as well. And the other one talks about services under union and state. So what is that? UPSC. That is Union Public Service Commissions, and states we have PSCs and all. So this is not just it. There are many provisions under it. So services and everything under it comes over here, and everything has to be properly, mentioned. That is even includes who is the chairman and who decides that, and in a way that because UPSC, if I would take the example of UPSC, they are not going to be North India specific or South India or Eastern or Western or India specific. They're going to be the whole of India specific. It's going to be, they're not going to ask what happened over here in such municipalities. They're going to ask questions in a way that it will be answerable to everyone belonging to any parts of the state. It will not be an advantage to one section category of people and disadvantage to the other section. So certain provisions has to be made sure. It has to be ensured that it wouldn't be taken violation or it wouldn't be violated in the future. So certain rules and regulations regarding that. And the next one is services under union administrative tribunals. That is, we have lots of tribunals for even for the same scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Tribunals in a way that looking after us, certain institutions. That is, for example, women protection. So there are lots of tribunals or setup of committees or categories or institutions under it. And yes, the next one is elections. So certain areas that you have to by heart. And I'm so sorry. I think till here we can study in sort of like a story format, and certain ones that is scheduled tribes and areas we have to by heart. That is 10th one, and the relation between the union and state also by heart. From here you can just remember and write if I presume. But certain, for example, the elections you have to understand. It's very important. 15th part, and it have articles from 324 to 329, and we have to at least study everything under what comes under 324 to 329. So yes, certain ones we have to by heart, everything under it. Yes. The next one is special provisions, reservations to scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, Anglo-Indians, etc. Even for the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, there are certain seats. Even in there are reservations. Even in the parliament, and even in all the other sectors, everywhere, special reservations. They are having lots of provisions from the government, but that is not enough. They also need special reservations. They also need special push from the back. Only then we can bring them up to equal platform, and then from here we'll give the equal opportunities. Because I'm saying, again repeating the sentence again is the reason why I've seen lots of agitations in Facebook, all these people saying that these reservations and categories should be taken away. But I'm totally against it, because just because we know some people are well off from these categories doesn't mean that this is how it is for all the categories. There are lots of people who are very much at disadvantages, and for them to come up, this system has to keep on going. And only when everyone is equal we can say that yes, now there is no need for reservations. Everyone has to be given on the basis of merit or on their special talent and all. But over here they are at the very much disadvantage. And why I am educated? Why? Because my parents are educated. Why my parents are educated? Because their parents are educated. So it's different. But over there in tribal areas, their people, they are not educated, and they are at the disadvantage. So they need certain push from the back. For those reasons, special provisions such as reservations and all these categories are set up for all these people. And over here, official language, we have 22 official languages, and every language is important over here. And we cannot say Hindi is official language or Marathi is official language because it's being used by a large section of people. No, all the languages are considered to be official. And here the emergency provisions, that is, during the Indira Gandhi government there was an emergency provision. And emergency is when our nation is facing a critical situation, like war, or right now what we had, this corona. It is under the control, but suppose just imagine if it is going haywire and the states are not able to control it. So what happens? The government will issue emergency, and they'll say that okay, we are going to take the emergency, I'm going to look after all the states. So that is different. So special critical situation has to come up. The government cannot say, okay, I'm going to look after the state. No, they cannot do that. And they cannot enact emergency provisions. Certain critical situations has to come up. And then is about the miscellaneous provisions like immunity of president, legislature, etc., etc. We'll study that when we look after each subtopic. That is what comes under the president, and all features comes under the prime minister. So I'm not trying to confuse you. So that's the reason why I'm just going through only the topmost part of it. And the next time we come to this provision or come to this section, we are going to get inside and we're going to study what comes under from 1 to 4, what comes under the fundamental rights and all. So first, get the big picture. That is, step back and see what comes under it, and then you can see at a glance and understand, okay, this is what comes under it. And the next time when you read, go into the details, and it wouldn't confuse you much if you look into it then. And then is the amendment of constitution. Our constitution is ever evolving. That is, when it was made in 1914 and 1950 it was announced or it was given out. Just imagine, it was made in 1950. We are almost at the end of 2020. We're going to be 2021 next month. So we cannot say we have to be governed by something which is made 40 or 60 or 70 years back. it has to ever evolve according to the changes of these people. For example, if all these scheduled caste and scheduled tribes people, they also are at par with all these general category of people, then okay, we can take away with it. So, we are striving to be better, and if it comes better, we have to make special provisions according to it. So that is the reason why amendment is over here. And India's constitution is not rigid nor flexible. For example, in this American constitution, it is a written constitution, but it's very rigid. But in UK, it's very much flexible. You want to change it, you can. UK, it's very much flexible. It's easier to change and all. So here it's not rigid or not flexible. It could be amendment, it could be changed, but it requires majority and all, vote and all. So yes, we'll also get into it when we study about the bicameralism and all. And the next one is temporary, transitional, and special provisions. And last one is short title, commencement, authoritative. So these last two are about the technical aspects of it. So this is the whole gist of the constitution. What our constitution is all about is being discussed over here. And one second, okay. So yes, so this was the whole gist of what constitution is all about. And if I could go through, if you give me the permission, I could also just cover a small portion also about polity, that is salient features of Indian constitution. Why Indian constitution is said to be a very much distinct or different from the other constitutions of the around the world, and special features of our Indian constitutions. And we have already covered the special basic understanding or aspects of our constitution. And if I have the permission, I could proceed and just go around or go through the special features of Indian constitution. This would just take 45 to 50 minutes. And if this is okay with you, I could just take that again. We just have just 12 or 13 slides. So is that okay? So could I just proceed with the class? Is that fine? Okay, so I think it's a yes. So yes, so salient features of Indian constitutions. Why Indian constitution said to be is very much unique. That is, it took lots of years to complete. It took lots of they try to have lots of understanding to it in a way that loopholes to be maximum to be minimized. So why Indian constitution said to be very much distinct from the others? Yes, okay. So the first one is longest written constitution. Why it's longest written constitution? Because India is said to be a diverse nation. We have lots, so we cannot say that we only have males and females over here. We have people on the basis of caste, creed, section, and the race also. We have Mongols, Mongolian race in northeastern parts, Dravidians, we have then we have Indo-Aryan. So there are everyone has to be included. Everyone's provisions has to be taken care of. For example, over here, certain importance, everything has been taken care of. That is, equality is there, equality between the caste and creed and religion, and all these people are given special provisions. So everything has to be make sure that we are not leaving any room for any doubt for anyone in the future that we are not looking after everyone, because we are looking after everyone. It has to be ensured by us. And the second reason that they say is that it was written by advocates. Most of the people of drafting committee are, lawyers and advocates. So they tend to use all these, lawyer terms, and, they have a different set of terminologies that they use. So since they used it, they sort of wrote it in a flowery language. Which section of this is? Which section of this is polity class? Is that what you asked? I'm sorry, I couldn't understand. No, this is polity class. This is not history. This is the first class of polity. I had a playlist in Malayalam language, but this is the first one in English, I presume. And this is not history. This is polity. So I just right now finished with the basic understanding of what a constitution is. So I'm gonna move on to the important features or the salient features of Indian Constitution. Why Indian Constitution is different from the other? Okay. So yes. That is the reason why the constitution is said to be very much longer and unique blend of rigidity and flexible. Like I said, our constitution is ever evolving. It doesn't mean that okay, it's written once by these great eminent people and it cannot be amended. It can be amended. Why? Because our requirement will change depending upon the the time and period and all. So it could be changed again and again and again. So for this reason, it's flexible, but it doesn't mean that these people who are in the power could they have their own way and make certain amendments which will benefit them. So because of those reasons, it is rigid as well. And India as a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, and republic. So where you're going to find such special features in other places, and I've already covered what all these terms implies, and I think that will be enough. And parliament is system of government. That is, we have bicameral system, lower house and upper house, and that is Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, one being more important than the other, and universal adult franchise. This is something uh, very much ironical to a nation like India, because why India is a place we have lots of categories of people. That is, first category of people, second category of people. So universal adult franchise was actually a challenge in a way that yes, we are going to consider everyone to be equal. That is, even the rich, poor, or the downtrodden and the higher upper class, everyone are going to be given the equal status and equal rights. And our universal adult franchise was actually mocked by all these Britishers and especially by Winston Churchill, saying that India consists of at least majority of people are illiterate. So how are you going to make all these illiterate people vote for their representatives, because they have no idea what they're going to do? They're going to click the button or they're going to do that in the ballot box. So they don't have the basic understanding. They're very much illiterate. So we were ridiculed upon, but we took it as a challenge and we were able to overcome it. And yes, independent and integrated judicial system. For example, in America, in US and all, they have certain categories of state, and these states have their own rules and systems and all. But over here, we have one single law, and this law will govern us throughout. And for example, here we have Supreme Court. Under Supreme Court is the High Court, and then District Court and Sessions Court and all. So even though these three are independent, they are connected in a way. That is, if I need a justice, I go. No, no, it's okay. If you have any doubt, you could ask me. Okay, just feel free to ask any doubt. It's okay. Sushma. So you want to ask doubt, you ask me. You can just stop me and ask me then and there. No issues for that. So yes. So they're saying is that, for example, I need something, I need justice. So first I'll go approach my district court, but I don't get a justice over there. So what do? I go to High Court, and from there also I don't get. I'll go approach the Supreme Court. So all are integrated. They all follow the same set of rules, same constitutions. It's not being differentiated from one to the other. And that is the reason why it is being said independent and integrated. 1 second, okay? Yes. And the next one is, can we amend if amendment? Yes. A single law or a single act or article could be amended any n number of times. No provisions are being written over it, but it's very hard to amend over here in India. Why? Because we need majority of vote of all these representatives. We cannot just amend because okay, I don't like it. We cannot amend. For example, the farm bills. The farmers are saying that it has to be called back or it has to be amendment, but it is not easy because all the people, all these representative people, they have to vote against it, or only then we can say that we can amend it. So no issues on number of times a bill or anything could be amended, because we could do that any number of times. But the issue is about it's difficult and it's easy. So yes, the next one is fundamental rights, fundamental duties, directive principles of state policy. That is, these citizens, they have rights, they have responsibilities, and they have duties. certain, we're not saying that, okay, you want you to happy, okay, I'm going to give you lots of rights. No, not just that. You also have to take up lots of responsibilities and duties also along with that. So we also expect a certain sense of respect from your side. So that's it. And federation with a strong centralizing tendency. We as a nation is federal. Our system is federal. That is, this is going to be recording. It will be there on the YouTube. It will be available in the YouTube. You can watch it anytime. Right now it's live. And after I close the system, you could watch it again and rewatch it. If you have a doubt, you could just ask me in the comment section, or you could ask me in the Telegram channel, or you could WhatsApp me. My WhatsApp number is available in the most of the descriptions, I presume. So yes, so as I was saying is that yes, R is the federal system. That is, each state will be divided, and for example, certain state, this Maharashtra or UP, they have their own set of rules and regulations. For example, this intercaste provisions and laws regarding that in UP was taken off. So it is their law and their religion, and I'm sorry, not religion, their system, and this is something that they follow. But doesn't mean that it has to be also be applied to some other state. For example, in West Bengal, it doesn't mean that just because they are closer, these two states are closer, doesn't mean that West Bengal has to take up the same rule and all. It's totally upon their wish, and that is the meaning of federal system. That is, all these states will be independent, but still there will be a high or a center, and we have a centralizing tendency in a way that center has more power compared to the state. For example, the farm bills. If I could, reiterate the same example, the most people affected are from Punjab and Haryana, the farmers of Punjab and Haryana. So they are saying that they cannot say that, okay, we are from a different state, we do not require this law, we are not accepting or we are totally rejecting your law. We cannot do that. Why? Because center is supreme over the state. State have their own, autonomous, that is inside interior autonomy, but the state have, the center have more power over them. And so that is the reason why federation with a strong centralizing or a central unitary bias, if you could say that. So we are quasi-federal or partially federal, and balancing parliamentary supremacy over judicial review. That is, we over here say that Supreme Court is supreme. Why is that? Because everything most important one is judicial. We cannot say since you are a prime minister, we cannot arrest you. Or since you are the president, everyone is above. Everyone is below the judicial review. Judge or the jury system have power to scrutinize anyone, or bring them in under the scrutiny or power of law, and then provide justifications on it. So these are the salient features. The first one you're going to understand, longest written constitution ever. So why is that? Like I said, it's we have to include all the separate provisions for everyone and everything. So the first one is center and state. We have a center, so certain provisions about the center has to be written, and certain provisions about the center also has to be written, and also interrelationship. We have three lists, that is center, state, and concurrent. That is, relationship between the center and state has to be properly mentioned, and in a way that this wouldn't create any confusion or any problem in near future. So it has to be correctly mentioned, the relationship between the center and the state, when the center can overstep the state, and when the state have the autonomy or the internal autonomy. So everything has to be properly mentioned so that it wouldn't will lead to any problems in near future. And yes, borrowed provisions from several sources, that is when we attained independence, that was in 19. Okay, so yes, so when we attained independence in 1947, that was the time when most of the nations already have their own independence. They have already have their own constitutions. So what do? We learn from the others' mistake and do upon it. For example, the Soviet Union, or the Russia's old name, they first implied their own ways of dictatorship. So this was a total failure on those part. That is, they say, okay, you cannot have any private ownership. It's all about socialism. So we cannot apply total socialism over here, because the government has to ensure all the facilities to citizens. So this is not going to be practical. So we are going to study and analyze others constitutions, other nations constitutions as well, and then gonna borrow from them. That is, for example, these fundamental rights are being taken from the other nations and all. So all these are being added, looking at the pros and cons of all these nations and all, and separate provisions for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, that everything and everyone has to be taken care of to make sure that they wouldn't be violated or would be taken care of. For those reasons, everything and every category, for example, special category about children, special category of women, special category for scheduled caste, special category for scheduled tribes. Everything has to be properly mentioned in a way that tomorrow we cannot say that since it was written in the constitution, they are being violated or they are being exploited. And it contains detailed list of individual rights and directive principle of state policy. Apart from this, our constitution consists of Government of India Act of 1935. That is, Government of India Act of 1935 was given by the Britishers to India, and this during those period, even during those period when it was written, it was considered to be a lengthy document. So since 1935, Government of India Act was included here in India, this itself is very long. And just imagine being, having a long part here and then adding on lots of provisions over here. This is going to be even more longer. So that is the reason why it's written to be or said to be the longest written constitution ever. And a unique blend of rigidity and flexibility. That is, it's easier to amend, but it's also very much difficult to, make an amendment. For example, if something that is right now the NDA or the BJP, they have the majority. But before that, the Manmohan Singh, if you could remember, that it was a coalition. We cannot say it was complete or majority of Congress people. It was coalition. That is, all these people, they became a coalition party, and that's how they were governing. So when Manmohan Singh wants to, bring out a change, he cannot say that because these people doesn't belong to his people, his category. They are the coalition people who are agreed on the terms that we will be by your side. So this is one problem. And yes, and some parts can be amended by ordinary law making procedures, while certain provisions can be amended when a bill for that purpose. That is, we have simple majority and we have other majority, special majority and all. So certain, that is all the money bills and all. So I think I shouldn't speak about that now because it's going to be very much confusing. So we'll talk that in different category. And some amendments are also required to be ratified by the legislators for not less than one half of state before being presented to the president for assent. At last, who is the one that is our republic, that is our nominal head, who president has to give his consent. So for him to give the consent, these people has to come into an agreement that okay, we are agreeing for this amendment. We are agreeing for the certain changes or certain inclusion in the constitution. And one thing is that it can never go against the theme of our constitution. For example, if tomorrow a political party or ruling government comes with majority of them, so they cannot say, okay, we're going to take away or do away with the secular part. We're going to bring this religion to our nation. No, they cannot do that. They cannot do anything against the theme or the idea of our constitution, but they can only go along with it. All right. And India as a sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic and republic. That is, like I said, we are a sovereign. We are not under the influence of external forces and socialists. It's for the people. We are doing for the people, and in a way that will bring equal opportunities, and everything will be provided to these people. And like I said, I'm just repeating the same sentence that I said before. Poor people will be giving lots of provisions and subsidies and all. Rich people will be levied with tax. So why is that? So that they could, brought about an equal platform. But still we are struggling. But tomorrow we'll try to be. Can you explain first central cabinet and the secretaries and governance? Maybe later in coming classes, but not today because today I'm just going about what the constitution is all about. And yes, I'll explain that in coming classes, but not today. And India as a sovereign means it manages, yes. So these are the points that are already discussed. And secular is that we don't have any religion. India is a nation which doesn't adopt any religion. You are free to choose your own religion. You're, free to preach or you're free to practice. You're free to have your own belief system, everything. And democracy and republic. And democracy is when you have the right to make your own leaders, and you have, it's said to be by for the people, of the people, and for the people. So it's yeah, sure. Okay, and republic is what? These people, the head of a state or the head of a nation, could be directly or indirectly be elected by the people or representatives. And okay, like I said, socialist as a term was added in the 42nd Amendment, and 42nd Amendment is very important, okay, because there are lots of amendment being taken on the 42nd Amendment. So just remember that. And yes, so these are the points that I've already covered. And parliamentary system of government, that is, we have the parliament system, we have bicameralism, we have two houses, and the parliament controls the functions of council and ministers, and that these are the certain systems that we adopted from the British government. And here it's written that president is just a nominal head, and he doesn't have the power. Yes, he gives the consent, that is, he is the one who signs it. Just because the prime minister is there doesn't mean that prime minister is going to decide something, I guess, and I'm going to that is gonna implement. He needs a sign of the president. So president is just for these particular matters. That is, he's just a nominal head. But the real executive, what is the meaning of executive? Someone who does the task. So someone who is doing the task is the prime minister, and he is executive head. And yes, he's head of council of ministers, and he's collectively responsible for the Lok Sabha. And universal adult franchise, yes. Anyone who's above the age of 18, doesn't matter what you are, or what category that you belong to, or what race, what religion, or what gender, you have the equal right to give your vote. And single citizenship, that is, in some places, for example in America, you have, for example, you are in Kentucky or you are in Texas. I am the citizen of Texas, and also I'm citizen of US. But over here, it doesn't matter if you are from Telangana or Jammu and Kashmir, you are equal citizenship. You're considered to be equal among the eyes of center. And independent and integrated jury, yes, that is, Supreme Court is said to be the apex. Supreme Court is the supreme, but there is also other lower courts under it. That is, High Court, below High Court is District Court. But these are integrated. These three follow same constitution throughout, and they don't have separate ones for each, but they have the same ones. And fundamental rights, fundamental duties, and directive principle of state policies, that is, certain guidelines, certain provisions, certain special acts being given to us, so that these are the fundamental places where it's being taken care of the citizen. Where are we being taken care of? Over here in fundamental rights, duties, and DPSPs. This is where we are going to talk about the citizens of this space. And federation with a strong centralizing tendency. I'm just going through this because I'm already covered the same aspect before itself in the starting of the class, and when I just explained the sub points here. So sub points here. So I'm just going through it so that it's not boring enough. Yes, federation with a strong centralizing tendency. And if you haven't seen those part, I just go back, or once the video stream ends, you could just play it from the beginning itself, and then you have the proper understanding. These are the points that are already being covered and explained. I'm just giving all the extra additional informations when I'm discussing about it. So yes, so federation with a strong centralizing tendency is when it's a federal system. That is, each state have their own rights, their own purview, their own autonomy. But still, we are under the center, and the center have power over the state government, and they are in the upper hand. Center government's power is in the upper hand. So that is the reason why we say that it is a quasi-federal system. That is partially federal, and we are not completely federal, because why? Center has a whole power over us. And then balancing parliamentary supremacy with judicial review. The reason is why we have independent judiciary with power of judicial review, and that is, these judicial system is the taking care of our constitution. And if an executive member, that is anyone, even a prime minister or a cabinet minister is under him, if they violate, there has to be someone who has to look after them, look after the checks and balances. For those systems, judicial review is there, and they are at par or over the parliamentary system or supremacy. And yes, so that's it. So today's class was just about the basic understandings of what our Indian constitution was all about. tomorrow I'll be talking about the historical background of, we cannot just all of a sudden just make constitutions. So before making constitution, there has to be a basis of it. That is how the constitution's base came into being, how everything started to come into being. So the historical background and the acts and all these provisions, regulations being done by the East India Company will be discussed tomorrow in 8:30 class. So that's it for today's class. And if you have any doubts or any queries regarding the same, do let ask me now. And I really hope that I was able to convey myself to everyone. But still, if you have any doubts, do let me know that now, because I'm about to end the stream. And yes, so tomorrow also I'll be taking about polity, and next subject will be taken the next coming classes. So is there anything else that you want to ask me? Okay, so I think only that much is. So yes, so goodbye everyone, and I'll be uploading all the slides and PPT slides in the Telegram channel. And if you have any doubts, do check out my descriptions. I think I've written my phone number, WhatsApp number. It's just a WhatsApp number, okay? Do not call me in that number. Just WhatsApp me only, and you could ask me any doubts to WhatsApp, text, and all. So that's it. I'll be uploading the slides and PPT.